many South Africans spend large sums of money on unnecessary vitamins to keep COVID-19 away, apparently. This is according to a Business Insider South Africa survey. As the coronavirus is still fairly new, a lot of conflicting medical information is circulating about how best to manage it. To make sense of what supplements could strengthen your immunity against catching the virus, I'm now joined by Professor Guy Richards, who is a critical care physician at Wits University. Professor Richards, the intro talks about what supplements can help you to not catch the virus. I think my layman's understanding would suggest that there are no vitamins that can prevent you from getting the virus. Let's start there before we unpack what benefits we could find from supplements. But the starting point is there are no supplements that can help you not get the virus.
Okay, I'd like to start even one step further back. I'd like to say that the most important preventative measure, or the most important factor that would enhance immunity, is getting vaccinated. That is the most important thing. Thereafter, the use of supplements, etc., have not been well demonstrated to show benefit, except, for example, the possibility of vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency has been associated not with more severe disease, but with an increased likelihood of contracting the disease. One other that has shown possibly some benefit, there has been pro and anti papers that have been published, and that's been zinc, which we can see on the screen over there. That one study from Saudi Arabia indicated that mortality might be reduced by utilizing zinc when you take it if you actually are infected. But it does nothing in terms of preventing the onset of infection. There are other agents, such as, for example, nicotinic acid, that have theoretical benefit, and I certainly am one person who believes that nicotinic acid may have benefit both in acute disease and also in terms of preventative disease, and possibly also in long COVID. But that is a B vitamin, nicotinic acid. It's a B vitamin that should be, if you take it, should be taken after meals, because it can cause flushing, but it may have some benefit there as well. But be aware that it should be nicotinic acid in particular, rather than being nicotinamide or other B vitamins within the stable of B vitamins overall. But remember, please, I would say again, I just would say again, that is theoretical and anecdotal only, and there is not yet evidence to say that that would be of benefit.
So why do you think South Africans are sort of falling for that? You're saying that it's theoretical and anecdotal. I would suggest that maybe that's why a lot of South Africans are buying into these supplements, believing that actually, I don't need to wait for the peer-reviewed science and a study within a particular community, various stages of those studies being carried out, and as far as the benefits are concerned, perhaps it's desperation to say, if I can use anything, I'll take it.
Well, I think that you're correct. But again, I would like to emphasize that people should go ahead and take their vaccine where there is definite good proof in terms of efficacy. In terms of all these other agents, I think that there often is a belief that they are unlikely to be harmful, as opposed to something like ivermectin, which in fact has no benefit at all in COVID, and also is potentially harmful. When you take vitamins, there is a belief that they generally are going to be harmless and that they may have some benefit. And that's why people are doing it.
Please run the story around the vitamin D by me once again. What did you say exactly about it? What is the science shown as a factor in is it severity of disease?
No, there are two studies that I'm aware of, one in healthcare workers and one in people in the public, in which vitamin D levels were measured, and in those people who had low levels, they were more likely to contract the disease. but it wasn't necessarily worse when they did contract it. So there seemed to be some preventative effect in terms of taking the vitamin, but no evidence in terms of it improving outcomes.
And then lastly, then, what is the big takeout then for you from the survey done by Business Insider South Africa? If South Africans are, there's a volley of information coming at them around COVID-19 and it's conflicting at times. Everyone seems to be some kind of an expert. What would you say? Should we be spending money on these vitamins, particularly with the belief that they have a particular effect on either getting infected by COVID-19 or severity of disease, or should we rather be focusing on the other proven methods?
Well, first of all, focus on the other proven methods. And I would say that there is no harm in taking a single dose of vitamin D to be sure that you have adequate levels, not to continue taking it thereafter because it can be toxic if you take too much. And I think that certain of the compounds that contain all of these things together may well be of value, but we don't have the evidence to show that at the moment.